Welcome aboard, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here with another live edition in the second hour. Today is August 6th, 2013. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to go to Illinois now and talk to Christine. Hey, Christine, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Thank you for taking my call.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for calling. How can I help?
Okay. So let me start off by saying I'm aware of the 10 bad foods, and I have eliminated those from my diet just recently. And then yesterday I received some longevity products in the mail, the Tangy Tangerine 2.0, the OsteoFX, and EFAs, and I have some selenium and Z-Radical on the way. Now, here is my problem. Or my issues. I am in my 30s. I'm about 115 pounds. I was in a car accident which left me with paralysis. I am anemic. I have heartburn. I have had a blood clot in the past, and I get urinary tract infections. Now, my doctor...
From the catheter? Is it from the catheter?
Yes, you got it. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. And have you switched out catheters? Have you tried different ones?
No, I mean, I've pretty much stuck with the same ones.
Well, so here's, So here's what, just as a heads up on that, right? One of the things, right, that the MDs is good at is at least half of the time is technological advances, and they make different types of catheters all the time. Some are lubricated, some are non-lubricated, some made from rubber, some made from latex, some made from God only knows what. So if you are getting chronic urinary tract infections now, I would just switch out to a different type of catheter and see if there's less irritation there. I mean, that's just so obvious that we don't want to overlook it, right? I mean, we don't want to overlook the obvious. I would do that first. And, there's a lot else that you can do here, but, so what was the nature of the trauma to the spine? Did they definitively diagnose that? Was the spine severed? Was it bruised? Was it partially cut? I mean, did they tell you? I mean, what happened?
It was not severed. I do know that. It wasn't severed. However, after the accident, I can't really remember how many days because of course, I was completely knocked out of it. I had surgery. I had a spinal fusion.
Yep.
Which the neurosurgeon put a rod or hardware in my back, whatever you want to call it. Now, in May of this year, that hardware was removed, so it's no longer in my spine.
And have they told you that, the paralysis thing is a lifelong thing, or have they given you any heads up on that?
Yes, it's lifelong.
Okay, yes. Well, I'm going to tell you a story. Go ahead.
Okay, the blood clots, I'm on Coumadin for that.
Yeah. All right, okay. So there's every Thursday I'm joined by a colleague of mine. He's a registered nurse. His name is Mark Denning. He has a big presence on Facebook called Wellness Warriors, and he's, I think, a 15-year Army veteran as well. And when I met Mr. Denning, we call him the commander. When I met the commander, he was easily 120 pounds overweight. He had type 2 diabetes, and he was on more Coumadin than I've ever seen anybody be on because he was such a big boy, and he had 17 blood clots in his legs. 17. He worked with me, and within a year, all of the blood clots were gone. He was off of all of his Coumadin. He'd lost 100 pounds. The blood sugar normalized. I mean, it was a remarkable recovery. And our colleague, Dr. Wallach, the founder of the Longevity Company, sued the Food and Drug Administration on a number of occasions. One of his lawsuits was to secure something called a certified health claim, which means he brought to the Food and Drug Administration truckloads of research, published research, truckloads, literally, I'm not exaggerating, truckloads of published research supporting the notion that in order for your blood or my blood or anybody's blood, in order not to clot, in order to be healthy, There's one thing that you need and one thing only, essential fatty acids, omega-3, 6, and 9. If you have enough omega-3, 6, and 9 in your body, your blood will not clot inappropriately. You do not have a rat poison deficiency, which is what Coumadin is. You have an essential fatty acid deficiency, period. But because the MDs have no training, no respect, no experience, and no appreciation for medical nutrition, they don't know this. And, they're thinking to themselves, holy smokes, we got to do something to keep the blood healthy. Well, what are we going to do? Well, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So, of course, they're going to tell you to take the rat poison, and we have evidence to support the fact, for goodness sake, we sued the Food and Drug Administration because we had so much freaking evidence that instead of Coumadin, what you need is essential fatty acid supplementation. So I'm going to dial that in for you here, okay? And be advised that when it comes to the clotting ability of your blood, right, it's a relatively easy thing to track because when you're on Coumadin or warfarin, every 3 or 4 weeks they should be measuring something called prothrombin time. Do they do that blood test every couple of weeks for you?
They do.
Yeah, they do. So when you get on board with a medical nutrition program that actually works, those numbers will start to change in a positive direction, and then the MD he'll be forced to reduce the Coumadin. And so he reduces and reduces and reduces until you don't need it anymore. Then they'll scratch their chin and go, well, holy smokes, I guess you really didn't need the Coumadin, and that's how we do it. It's the same thing with blood pressure, and it's the same thing with blood sugars. I love helping people with these 3 conditions because they're easy to track with objectified blood work, right? Easy to track with objectified blood work. Now, heartburn that you're suffering from, the main cause of heartburn is not enough calcium in your body and not enough chloride. We need chloride to have healthy stomach acid, and we need calcium to squirt stomach acid out. And when you, me, or anybody else has heartburn, it is not because there's too much stomach acid. It's because there's not enough. It's because there's not enough. And if you go to my website, fireyourmdnow.com, there's a free video. Just scroll to the bottom of the page. There's a little video I put together that you can watch that talks about heartburn. It's a little PowerPoint presentation that I put together, and we use that presentation to pitch my online health recovery program. But that's for free. You can just go watch it now. But when people have heartburn, it's because they don't have enough stomach acid, not because they have too much. The MD's got that one wrong. You need calcium, and you need to be salting your food so that it tastes good. When you start to salt your food appropriately and get enough absorbable nutritional calcium into your body, which you're going to start doing with the stuff that you're taking now, the heartburn's going to disappear. Now, somewhere in the archives, if you go to my website again, fireyourmdnow.com, this is for free, by the way, folks. You can click on the radio show icon, and it'll bring you to my radio show page. And you can search. There's a little search box there, and you can search for things that I've said on the radio, and it'll bring up a lot of the episodes where I've talked about that. I was speaking to a man in St. George, Utah, about 6 months ago. I forget what his name is. I'll remember it by the end of the broadcast today, and then you can just put a little search, type in his name to the search box, and it'll bring up the episode. His daughter was in an automobile accident also. She had 17, I'm making numbers up, but she had a lot of surgeries to help her survive the trauma of the automobile accident. The last surgery that they did, they put a screw into her spine by mistake, right? They were putting a pelvic screw in or fusing her lower vertebrae, and they put a screw right into her spinal cord. Holy smokes, paralyzed her from the waist down. And they told her she'd never be able to walk again. She got on board with our stuff, and guess what? She's walking again. Now, there is a point of no return. There is a point beyond which the body cannot fix itself. There is. But neither you nor I nor your medical doctor knows where that is. And you wouldn't believe the things that I've seen people recover from with science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. You wouldn't believe it. So, worst case scenario, by getting on board with the supplements and the dietary stuff, you will be able to support and promote your body's ability to fix itself. And if you give it enough time, God only knows how much better you're going to get, right? So, you said your body weight was what, 120?
115.
115. Okay, so here's what I would do every month for 90 days as an experiment. 2 bottles of the white liquid calcium. So I would do one Are you in any pain? Is pain a factor?
No, I'm not in any pain.
Yeah, okay. And is high blood pressure an issue?
No.
And how about ability to sleep through the night? How's your sleep?
Oh, it's not great.
Is it because of the kids, or is it because it's hard to fall asleep or hard to stay asleep?
I would say it's hard to fall asleep.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do. So the recommendation would be per month for 90 days, one anti-aging healthy start pack, or the anti-aging healthy pack 2.0, right? That's the newest version, right? You need the anti-aging healthy start pack, 2 extra bottles of selenium, 2 extra bottles of white liquid calcium a month, 2 extra bottles of the Osteo FX Plus a month. So that's going to be a total of 3 bottles of calcium a month. 3 bottles of calcium a month, 3 bottles of selenium as well, and digestive enzymes. Do the digestive enzymes. Now, everything else, Z-Radical and triple tree chocolate and probiotics and everything else is extracurricular. It's extracurricular, okay? So, and I'm leaving out glucogel. Of course, we need glucogel. At 120 pounds, you would need 12 glucogel a day. That's 360 a month. So you need 1 bottle of glucogel at the 240 count, 1 bottle of glucogel at the 120 count. That's 1 bottle of glucogel capsules at the 120 count, 1 bottle of glucogel capsules at the 240 count, 3 bottles of selenium a month, 3 bottles of the white liquid calcium, or 2 bottles of the white liquid calcium a month, and 1 anti-aging healthy start pack. I want you to do 2 ounces of calcium in a little bit of orange juice immediately before bed, and 1 ounce of calcium in the morning. Do 1 ounce of calcium and a little orange juice in the morning, 2 ounces of calcium and a little bit of orange juice immediately before bed. Divide the other supplements up appropriately for how many days there are in the month. Continue the discipline with eliminating the 10 bad foods. And call me back every 4 weeks with a report right here on the radio show. We will track your progress live. Thanks for the phone call, Chris. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. By the way, the testimonial was Irvin, and that happened on May 22nd, 2012. So do an archive search. It's for free. May 22nd, 2012. Type in the word Irvin, E-R-V-I-N, from Utah, and listen to that testimonial. It'll bring tears to your eyes. Your body's ability to fix itself is greater than anyone has led you to believe, especially the pharmaceutical industry. Now, we're not selling false hope here, but what we are talking about is pragmatic, science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition stuff that you've never even heard of before. You have no experience with. Nobody does. And we've seen remarkable things. I don't know whether you're going to be able to walk again. Who knows? Nobody knows. Irvin's daughter didn't think she'd be able to. Thank God he came to one of our lectures. So look, what do? We give the body the stuff it needs. We stop eating stuff that's coming up the works. We look for results inside of 90 days. You want to see something improve. And once you get traction, you maintain the discipline and you ride that horse as far as it's going to take you. All right? That's how we do it. For everything. There are no exceptions to this rule. Talking about horse riding, we're going to go down to the great state of Texas now and see what Dwight is up to. Hey, Dwight, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hello, Dr. Glidden.
Hey, Dwight, thanks for calling. How can I help you, buddy? Hey, by the way, what part of Texas are you in?
Arlington, Texas.
Come back one more time.
Arlington, Texas.
Arlington, Texas. Where in the state is that? Are you central, north, south, on the coast? Where are you?
I'm just between Dallas and Fort Worth.
Oh, yeah, very good. It must be hotter than heck down there right now, right?
It's 105.
105. It's not hell, but you can see hell from there, right?
Yeah, I see the plane.
Well, what's up, Dwight? Thanks for the call. What's on your mind today?
I have a guy that I just joined the business. I've been taking my longevity products for about a year, so a lot of good things in my life. And he told me that, he said, if this stuff works, I'm 350 pounds and I want to look like you. I'm 175 pounds.
Great.
So I said, well, okay, I guess we can do this. So long story short, he's already lost 50 pounds, so he is close to 300 pounds now. He has encountered a small, albeit very severe pain problem that he tells me. He's having a lot of pain when he goes to the restroom.
So he has a bowel movement?
Yes. He dreads them. Like a plague.
Is that right?
He's on 3 healthy start packs. I've been asking if he's drinking plenty of water. He's doing a gluten-free diet. He's got all the thing bad foods.
All right, very good. So excellent. So here's what I want him to do for 1 week. Because, this could be caused by a number of things. It might not have anything to do with the supplements. It might just be coincidence. I kind of doubt it. But in any event, there's this kind of a stepwise thing that we do when we're faced with something like this. So here it is, all right? So I want him to stop taking the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. I want him to continue everything else, but I want him to completely go cold turkey on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, no more, for 4 days. 4 days. And look to see inside of those 4 days if the painful bowel movements disappear. Now, if the painful bowel movements do not disappear, then he needs to go to see somebody so they can stick a scope up his butt and see what happens. And I'm not talking about a colonoscopy, because I'm not a fan of colonoscopies, but this could be there could be a lot of different things causing this. Could be a hemorrhoid, could be, too many things really when we can't diagnose stuff over the internet, right? At least not yet. So the first thing to consider is that this is some aggravation from too concentrated a dose of the Beyond Tangy. So I want him to stop it completely. Now, if the problem goes away, he stops the Beyond Tangy and all of a sudden the bowel movements normalize, there's no more pain, then I want him to start the Beyond Tangy up again, but he needs to dilute it much more than he's doing now and drink it slowly. So if he's doing 3 cans of BTT a month, that's 6 scoops a day. So here's what I want him to do. 2 level scoops. 2 level scoops in 32 ounces of water 3 times a day. And I want him to take at least an hour to drink each 32-ounce container, okay? That's if stopping the Beyond Tangy Tangerine straightens out the product. Then I want him to put it back in his diet in a much more dilute fashion and see what happens then. Good question, Dwight. Thanks for the call. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here. In the last 30 minutes of the show, my oh my, where does the time go? I'd like to give a shout-out to George Marnica. Give a shout-out to Longevity Associate George Marnica. George, you are the reason your community is thriving and surviving. It's because people like you who take time out of their day to listen to what we have to say, apply what we have to say, and then get results. I mean, for goodness sake, that is a good way to live your life, don't you think? And certainly beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. We're going to stick around in Texas. We're going from Dwight to Gerald in Texas. Hey, Gerald. Thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Thanks, Dr. Glidden. I just wanted to give a testimonial about the Longevity OsteoFX calcium.
Excellent. Oh, all right, great. Thank you very much. But first of all, let me locate you because I like to do this. Where in the great state of Texas are you?
In the hot part. in Irving. As a matter of fact, earlier today I saw a dog chasing a cat outside.
Yeah.
And they were both walking.
Oh, man. Gotta love it. I love it, man. It's all right, so hit me with your testimony. I'm sitting down. Well, first of all,
let me say, I discovered you about a year ago, I think in April of 2012, April or May. I heard you on the Alex Jones Infowars.com broadcast.
Yes, sir.
And a couple of months prior to that, my wife and I had began using the Longevity products that we heard about on Alex's broadcast. And both of us were able to eliminate our high blood pressure.
Wow.
And then when you came along, I like the fact that something works, but I've always been one to like to know why it works.
Right.
And you were like a godsend because you filled in all of the details as far as what was happening.
Right.
The calcium and so forth. And I'd just like to tell you that we used it for about a year, and we both lost about 35 to 40 pounds each.
Wow.
My wife was on about 3 or 4 prescription medicines. She got off of all her medication.
Wow.
I'm 60 years old. I'm on no prescription medicines today. I was only on high blood pressure, but I was borderline type 2 diabetic.
Yeah, and not anymore, right? Are you sleeping through the night now?
Sleep good. Everything's great. But I wanted to tell you, I made a mistake, and what I did is because of the price of the longevity products, and you've talked about the recipe. The recipe is everything.
Oh, you switched.
So
you
what
switched out.
I looked for another liquid calcium magnesium, and I found one for half the price.
What happened?
So we started taking it for about 3 or 4 months, and I thought everything is great, And then all of a sudden, I started having a twitching in my eyebrow. And my wife, prior to the longevity, she'd had panic attacks.
Yeah.
The panic attacks start to return.
Yeah.
And also, I noticed that I was having a sharp pain in my right heel. Felt like maybe a bone spur.
Yeah.
So I said, I think there's something wrong. We're going to go back to the osteo.
What happened? What happened when you switched back to the good stuff?
Well, I went back to order it, and I noticed that the old OsteoFX was gone, and they had the Beyond OsteoFX. So.
Yeah, that's a great thing about longevity. They modify stuff all the time, right? I mean, it's really, really remarkable that they do that.
I hope that's new and improved.
It is. Yeah, you bet.
But anyway, we started taking the OsteoFX again, and after about 3 or 4 weeks, her panic attacks went away. My wife's panic attack. My eyelids stopped fluttering. My eyebrow, I mean. And I've been taking extra calcium like 3 times a day, 1 ounce 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And the bone spur, I just barely, I can tell there's a little pressure there, but no sharp pain anymore.
Well, I mean, that's just great, man. I mean, this is such a good testimonial. And, one thing I love about Texans, honestly, and most people in the South, very, very, very honest. I appreciate your honesty, Gerald. I appreciate your trust. I appreciate your straightforwardness. And, most of all, I also appreciate your intelligence. Because, number one, a lot of people wouldn't have put those 2 things together because, we're inclined to think, one calcium supplement is as good as the next. And those guys on the radio, they're just, blowing smoke, and they're just trying to get you to sell stuff. And I mean, we've been inundated with a culture, right? I mean, it's pitchmen all the time, everywhere, telling you, their stuff is the best, right? And in point of fact, well, guess what? Somebody's got to be number one. I mean, somebody has to be number one. And as you have just experienced for yourself, Dr. Wallach's recipes produce more remarkable, consistent results than anybody else's, and the proof of the pudding's in the eating, baby. So really, really good. Now, I'm a little interested here by your story, and, of course, this begs the question, right? Since money was an issue, and you wanted to, try to do the same thing for less, and so you switched out to another product which was inferior, but it was less expensive. Have you considered, or are you doing the longevity as a business? Is that on your radar yet, or not so much?
Considering that right now, and I think I'm leaning about 99% that direction. Yeah. And if we do, we're going to join the Glidden team.
Okay, well, here's how you do that, okay? And anybody in longevity can be on Team Glidden. Anybody in longevity can be on Team Glidden by buying a subscription to my online health recovery stuff, right? You can do that, no problem. And how it works in longevity is, however you came into the company, by hook or by crook, that's where you are in the architecture of the company, because it's all, affiliated network marketing, right? So because you're purchasing products, you're already placed somewhere in the company. So what you want to do, if you consider the business, is you want to call the company, call their 800 number and tell them who you are and tell them where you live. They'll look you up in their computer, and then they'll tell you who is in your upline. So you want to ask the company, say, all right, I'm Gerald from Texas, and I'd like to know who in my immediate upline is doing the business and succeeding at the business. And they'll be able to give you a couple of different names, a couple of different phone numbers, and then you get in touch with those people who are already in your organization. They're above you because it's in their best interest to help you, right? And then life is good. So you want to lean on the upline that's already present for you there. And then, maybe you're in my downline. I'm not sure. I mean, we have such a large organization. And when we were on Alex Jones, we got hundreds of people came into our group just automatically, right? They were just placed there automatically. So you may already be in my group. I'm not sure. But the company will know. And in order to move forward with integrity, because, longevity is all about maintaining our integrity, right? So wherever you were placed in the organization, that's where you are. And you don't need to worry about that because, there are very, very talented people, network marketers in longevity, who are in your upline. You just have to find out who they are and then lean on them to help you understand how to do the business. Maybe it's me, maybe it's not. But even if it's not me, even if you're not in my immediate downline, you can still have access to all of the health information and all of the enrollment information, for $20 a month just by signing up for my online health recovery program, and that's how we do it. I'm very excited for you, Gerald. You seem to me to be a person that's very easy to talk to. You're a straight shooter. You're funny. I mean, this would be like bringing a dog, to water, bringing you to a longevity business. So I would encourage you wholeheartedly to do this. And the only advice that I have is, if you wanted to fly a plane and you didn't have a pilot's license, what you would not do is go to your local airport, rent a plane, get in it, and teach yourself how to fly. You'd crash and burn if you did. They wouldn't even let you do that, right? So when you get the bug in your bonnet that you want to make money doing longevity, you want to help other people, recover their health and increase your wealth by doing that, lean on the people that are already doing it. Let them teach you how to do it. Become a student of the business. Let them coach you and teach you and hold your hand and show you the steps. Because if you try to reinvent the wheel and do it all on your own, well, it's going to take too long. Maybe you'll be able to do it, but the point here is that we've already figured it out. There already is a structure in place that we're attempting to put every longevity person on the same lane here. So lean heavily on the person who's in your upline, who's successful, to teach you how to do it, and then do it. And, really, Gerald, I would look forward to your calling me up every couple of weeks with a report about how you're doing down there in Texas, both with your health and with your wealth. I got to let you go now, buddy. I appreciate the phone call. Call the company up, lean on your upline for training, and welcome aboard, buddy. I can't wait to see what happens with your longevity career. From Texas to Florida, holy smokes, we're in the hot states today. Della from Florida is calling. Hey, Della, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Della, hi. Hello.
How are you?
Just great, doctor.
Very good. Thanks for calling. What's up?
All right, I have a friend that has lupus. She's 52 years old. She weighs 118 pounds. She's about 6'1".
Yep.
Tell me what.
Okay, are you a member of my online subscription service?
No, not. I just met one of your peoples.
Oh, okay. All right. So I did a hour-long webinar with slides and everything, explaining what the MDs think lupus is, what we know lupus is, and what we do to support and promote the health of human beings who have been given a diagnosis of lupus. It's pretty fascinating, actually, but you need to be a subscriber to my online health recovery service to get that. It's $20 a month, and if you feel so inclined, you can purchase the subscription today at fireyourmdnow.com. That's fireyourmdnow.com. But, you know, the short version here is, in order to support and promote her immune system, which is what's necessary here, it's a three-step process. Number one, she has to eliminate the 10 bad foods. She has to eliminate the 10 bad foods. Number two, how much did you say she weighed? 105?
18.
118. Okay. So it would be one anti-aging Healthy Pack 2.0. One anti-aging Healthy Pack 2.0.
Okay.
3 bottles of selenium. 3 bottles of selenium. And 1, 2, 3, or 4 bottles of Z-Radical. 1, 2, 3, or 4 bottles of Z-Radical a month, whatever the budget will allow. So that's the anti-aging Healthy Pack 2.0, the selenium and the Z-Radical, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. Have her do that program for 90 days, 90 days, and have her track what happens to her, right? Her mood, her energy, her sleep, her appetite, her bowel movements, her sex drive, her menstrual cycle, her, everything. Have her make a running list of all of her complaints. And once a week, I want her to take that list down from the refrigerator and give each of the symptoms a score. Oh, my insomnia is gone, my heartburn's gone, or whatever. If she keeps a running list, and she'll have a much better idea moving forward in time of how the program is working. Because remember, healing is a process here. It's not an event. It's something that unfolds over time, and people need to see results in order to maintain the discipline. Thanks for the call, Della. She is going to love how she feels. Ladies and gentlemen, we're finishing it up. When we come back, stick around. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, finishing it up with you on the 6th day of August, 2013. Knowledge is power, and thank God for the Internet. I guess the Internet is a double sword, right? It cuts both ways. I mean, you can still find people on the Internet that think the earth is flat. So you do certainly have to use a certain amount of discrimination when you're weeding through what's being talked about, especially on the Internet. But the media, the mainstream media, is controlled by the biggest corporations in the world, by the secret governments, and by the pharmaceutical industry, all of whom are in bed together. And so you're never, ever going to hear what I'm about to tell you, even though it's been published. This just crossed my desk from Naturopathic News Daily. Naturopathic News Daily, which is a newsletter that goes out to naturopathic physicians. It talks about current research in medical nutrition that's been published. Now, why Reuters doesn't pick this up, why the World Press doesn't pick this up, why the Boston Globe or the Daily Herald, Chicago Tribune doesn't pick this up, I'll tell you why they don't pick it up. Because they don't want you to know this. They're only going to report bad information about vitamins and minerals. They're only going to report shoddy, slipshod, misleading research about vitamins and minerals. Remember all that nonsense about prostate cancer and vitamin E a number of months ago? Remember all that nonsense about essential fatty acids and greater risks of something or other a couple of weeks ago? Nonsense. You're going to hear slipshod, shoddy research reported all the time, but you're never going to hear this, and I'm going to read it to you right now. Thank God you're tuning into this radio station. Knowledge is power. New research has found that omega-3 fatty acids contained in oily fish, such as salmon and trout, and Longevity's essential Healthy Start Pack, the EFA Plus or the EFAs, killed human skin and mouth cancer cells that had been cultured in the lab without harming healthy human skin cells. Oral squamous cell carcinoma is the 6th most common cancer worldwide and is one of the more difficult to treat. Let me say this again. Scientists discovered that the 6th most common type of cancer, mouth cancer, which is very difficult to treat with conventional chemo, radiation, and kill the immune system, kill the patient therapy, but first bankrupt them. Bankrupt, poison, and kill the patient, right, which is conventional cancer treatment. Very difficult to treat this, but fish oil supplementation killed the cancer cells while leaving the normal, healthy mouth cells alone. Why isn't this front page news? Why isn't this blasted across the world? I mean, why do you have to come to my radio show to learn this? Scientists grew lab cultures of cancerous oral and skin cells along with pre-malignant cells and normal skin and oral cells and treated them all with fish oil. The killing of the cancer cells while sparing the healthy cells was partly due to an overstimulation of a key growth factor known as epidermal growth factor, which triggered cell death. Because skin and oral cancers are often easily accessible, there is the potential to deliver targeted doses locally via aerosols or gels. This research was just released by the journal Carcinogenesis, which is fancy schmancy doctor talk for the origins of cancer. That's the Latin name, the origins of cancer. This particular journal, Carcinogenesis, it will be published in a future print issue, but the full study is now accessible for subscription or an access fee. So, right? I mean, I learned about this. When do you think you're going to learn about this with mainstream media? I'll tell you when. Never. Why? Because you've been played by the pharmaceutical industry. I've told you this once. I'm going to tell you until the cows come home. Medical doctors are not trained to cure disease. They're trained to manage symptoms with drugs and surgery. They don't even know how to cure heartburn. And as Forrest Gump says, that's all I have to say about that. Your medical doctor does not even know how to cure heartburn, and we expect them to come up with a cure for cancer? For goodness sake, you want a cure for cancer? Give me $600 billion. Myself and my colleagues will get together and we'll fix it in 5 years, for goodness sake. This is nonsense. We're suffering needlessly here, ladies and gentlemen. Pick your head up out of the sand. Tell everybody in your world about this radio show. Tell everybody in your life about fireyourmdnow.com, and let's get started. We have the structure in place. We have the support in place. All you need to do is let us know you're there. We're flying around the ocean with a searchlight looking for people in the lifeboats. Join the cause, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be glad that you did. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health, thanking you again for tuning in and turning on. God willing, I'll be right back here in the driver's seat tomorrow. Adios.